Alrighty, it's the day before Friday. It is Doc from North America. It's 9:31 p.m. in Tokyo, and it is 7:31 a.m. here in southern New Jersey, not far from New York City. And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, world. How are everybody doing? As I take a sip of my tea, it's about 3 degrees minus Celsius. Metho! What's happening, Metho? It's just another fun-filled day. You could see yesterday Mr. Powell just, I don't know, I guess you could say is playing it pretty cool down the middle. I was really happy to see the quarter point. You can see that the Dow Jones Industrial Average, when you look at the stock market itself, is seeing they're going after the tech stocks. Now, we have some big earnings kicking out. I mean, Meta yesterday, it's the Facebook, came out with a $40 billion buyback and drove the stock up about $35, $40. There's some earnings in some of these areas, let's put it this way, they were smart to keep their powder dry, as they didn't get going wild and woolly. And, in other words, they basically kept that capital sitting to the side. So that works out really well there, There's the dollar index. You can see the dollar. Look at that. Bang. Bang, bang, bang. Doing what it should be doing, and that is going down. Come on, break the century mark. Can it get to the century mark? It's like, it's just, we want to get this into the 90s. It's been way too overpriced at this point. And Metho says silver day, gold day, natural gas shopping day. Shopping? All right, let's see what silver's doing. Last I looked, it was it did go into the buy last night. It was very close. Right there. It was, we had the little green line last night up on the side there, but when we go through all the work this morning, there it is. It did close in the daily buy last night, and you see the weeklies come back to life again right there. That's just, makes always, a good thing right there. And then we'll go take a look at gold. And there is the gold. Gold's been in a buy for a couple of days. They've hesitated a few here and there, but the end result is that gold's doing all right, and it's that did not notice that the weekly on gold, has not run away. This is the April contract. I'm not sure why our line is missing, of course, but we're going to put it back in there again. And we've been in that weekly buy since the 1600s. And and here we are at what are we at? 1970. I remember 1970. That was a fun year. Let's see. You can see there all that strength in the gold, which when you look at that, you would automatically want to say, look at the South African rand. It should be like, collapsing dramatically. It should be like 1360 or 1370. Not 13. I'm sorry, 1460 or 1470 on the South African rand. Let's just take a look at it real quick. I mean, I don't mind mixing it up. And then I don't know about natural gas and shopping. Should I go to the as Yano said yesterday? I'm probably the biggest promoter of that Spanish energy company. It's the only way we can see the price of natural gas in Europe. By watching the stock. And we've seen where the stock, when it gets down to 16, 17, or 18, natural gas is trading way, way, way lower in Europe. And obviously when it gets up to $31 a share, then, natural gas is trading at like, $30 a cubic foot, compared to in the States here at, where was I going? Oh yeah, natural gas. Was I going to natural gas? I guess I was. Let's go to natural gas. No, I know what I want to do. I want to see what the South African rand looks like real quick with gold up on the screen. There it is. Yeah, so finally, there's a nice drop. Gold is roaring, but it's still trading at 17 when it should be trading around 15. So, look at that. Pushed into a daily sell from that move yesterday. That's good. And the weekly is right on the edge of climbing right back into that sell. Maybe it'll resolve all those problems down there. Now let's go for Metho's natural gas. Let's take a look at the nat gas. In the States, it's in the 260s, $2.60 a cubic foot. And as far as I can tell, it's about $24 to $25. That's right. So we're $2 and a half basically, or, $2.50, as we would say in the States here, under $3 a cubic foot. In Europe, it's $25 a cubic foot. There it is right there. You see that 2.505. That's that classic description of $2.50. Yeah, I'll take that for $2.50. Let's put it up on there. There it is, showing you natural gas trading at $2.50 a cubic foot. How's that, Metho? We've done it all. You asked and you shall receive. All right. Now from there, let's do this. I want to see where nat gas. I would say that the Spanish company's probably trading around 25.60, 25.70. Let's see. Would be nice to see it like taking a real dive. That would be really cool. Let's see. We'll find it. There it is. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. It's Espanol. Ah! What the hey? Oh, today is Groundhog Day, too. Punxsutawney sees shadow. 6 more weeks of winter. So there it is. Gas, that natural gas company, I would have thought it would have been at 25.70 or 80. They jacked it up a little bit today. Look at that. You can see the green moving up. So, seek and you shall find, Metho. And you did. You seeked and now you have found. Alrighty. Where did we leave off? I think we were looking at the dollar index, right? So let's take a look at the euro. The euro is going to be second day in the daily buy. No, not there. Nothing up my sleeve. Well, let's put it up on J4X to start off with. Right there. You see, look at that. Zoom, zoom, zoom. I think I saw it in the 10s last night. I was like, yeah, that's so cool. Let's take a look at it over here. Right there. There it is. Yeah, the high today so far is 110.25. Nice tool, huh? Holding up well. What a great trading tool. The euro against the dollar. Got to go with that euro. That's where I'm at. And you can see at the same time, let's just digress. You can see we've been in a weekly buy now there for a while. Look at that. Been in a buy from the almost all-time lows. A couple, like 4 or 5 weeks after the all-time lows, we vacillated back and forth, and then zip-diddy-doo-dah, up it went. Now let's check out cable. I understand they raised. Now look at that. Isn't that amazing? They raised rates. They raised the bond rate a 0.5 percentage point in London, and the currency's down. So now it's becoming more policy problems. You know what I mean? So in other words, a lot of times it's it's policy, or it's the mechanics of interest rates and inflation and employment. But now the fundamentals. Ooh, let's use that word too, because we're seeing a lot more good activity with the fundamentals, and I'm really happy that that's starting to happen. It was so sad to watch our fundamentals get thrown out the door for over a decade, and we're starting to. We're starting to see fundamentals have an influence again in the pricing of different things, and it's a matter of fact. Was it Apple Computer comes out tonight with its earnings and so forth, and you're talking about a $2 trillion company. That's right, $2 trillion. So I mentioned it, how big some of the NASDAQ stocks have become, and how they're, the influence of the volume and the activity. But, here you can see it. Obviously, the cable is moving down. Got to go for that cup of tea one more time here. Yeah, so you're talking about $2 trillion company trying to project out its value in fundamental ways like inventory, sales, cost of manufacturing. This is a whole circus act. Hey, Timothy, red-haired cable gave me red-haired. I understand what you mean too. That's good. I like that. Red-haired cable gave me 75 pips in 10 minutes. Biggest short of the year so far in my book. Good. Good. Take the money and run. You know what I mean? Don't throw it away. When you get that big trade, you get all juiced up. You want to go make another big trade. And you know what? Sometimes they're just not there. You get it once, and then you start to give it back. Don't give it back. So, yep. Now, I think, I guess it's all the news, all the fundamentals that are coming out today are coming out this afternoon. So, unfortunately, you won't have much of an opportunity to go after something wild again. Now, yesterday was a good day. It was really wild and woolly. So, that's where we stand at the moment. Let me see. What else we got going on here? Let's push that over a little bit. I just want to double check the sound. I'm sure it's all working fine. Yep. I just want to see how far behind I am. Oh, wow. I'm like a minute behind. Wow. Okay. I can hear that broadcasting. All right. So, just covet that money. Covet it. Go out, take a walk around the block once. Do something smart. Don't give it back. Don't give it back. But I am surprised in some ways. When I heard this morning that they had raised rates a half a percentage point, I thought, ooh, I bet that currency is going to be catching up to the euro. And here it is. You can see it right there. It's moving down, not moving up. Let's put it up on J4X. Let's see. Where are you? Cable. Right there. There it is. 123.5. Kind of plateaued up there, isn't it? It's kind of going sideways. Not a lot of punch to it. What's it been doing? And you know what? You can see it here in many ways on Chicago Quant on our work here. Let's widen this a little bit, but look at that. It really has turned into a plateau in here. Oh, let's try that again. So it's really turned into a plateau. Look at that. I mean, it's just kind of bouncing around in some type of tight little range. Imagine, you go down and challenge the bottom, one more push up, and then I guess bottom, this could be three bottoms, really. And you might get a breakout on the upside. But what it is doing is obviously the fact that it's down, which is surprising, except for Doc's math, of course. You can see here, Doc's math gave you the green and the red and still closed in the sell. We are still in a weekly buy, and they are both holding up above the zero line and just hovering around this really tight manifold now that's been, where's it at? I got the, right there. There's the tight manifold. It's getting tighter and tighter. I would say that fundamentals are probably coming into that too. In other words, when you raise your interest rates a half a percentage point, that drives costs up for companies. It drives cost up for the population for purchasing. It puts on a lot of pressure into the economy itself. Now the question is, are they generating government policies that will help the economy to grow, not just go out and do something stupid like tax the economy? In other words, they should be looking to change regulations, lower regulations, and you know what? If they coordinate, if they're a good group of politicians, with a functional mind, because the only thing that makes economies grow is, the population with, jobs and innovation and opportunity and, But if you put the government pressure on it, like we're going to raise your interest rates a half a percentage point, and guess what we're going to do at the same time? We're going to find a way to slow your company so you can't make as much money or can't make money at all and you have to go out of business. And that's really what's necessary, is to see the fundamentals move in, and that's what's going on here in the States, is that the fundamentals, since notice the bottom is October, when everybody expected to see the Republicans take the House of Representatives, and they did. They did not get the Senate, but the most important, I guess, if you have to choose the three, you want the House of Representatives, because if you're having money problems, that's where you can straighten it out. You can straighten out the economy with the House of Representatives here in the States. They're the checkbook. They're the bank. In other words, no money can be spent without them giving permission. None, zero. And so, that's the. I automatically thought, oh, good, they raised rates. We're going to see that currency lift up against the dollar, and here I go turn to it, and it's not. So there are other issues going on in England at the moment, like over-governing, and I guess that's a polite way of calling it. Over-governing, that's what it is. All right, from there we slide over to the Swiss. And I imagine the Swiss would be doing pretty good. Let's see what the Swiss is doing. And there it is right there. Went into a sell 3 days ago, and we are moving down the way it should be. And at the same time, we are still in that weekly sell. Right there. So, we've been in that weekly sell since the major top. Right there in the 101s. So that's all good. Let's see. I want to hear where I am at now. And so, that's the. I automatically thought, oh, good, they raised rates. No, wow, I'm like a minute and a half behind on the broadcast. How about that? The webinar is like dragging its feet. So now, from there, we go over to the yen. Let's see what Mr. and Mrs. Yen are doing. Right there. Nope, that's South African Rand. There's the yen right there. And you can see right here, this action, it's still, went into a sell yesterday. And, it's holding up very well. We had the green and the red right there, as you can see. And at this point, the weekly is holding up very well also. It did make a run like it was going to go after the buy at the beginning of the week, but it has moved back into the sell side of things again. Let's move that line down right there. Okay. Then from there, we slide over to the Turkish lira. Let's see what's going on with Turkish lira. Oh, there's the yen. Let's put the yen up on the J4X. Right there. Same game. Breaking down. Green line underneath. The pressure's, very clear. So now let's tune into the Turkish lira. I saw it go into a daily buy yesterday. Right there. Excuse me. I think I'll take a sip of tea. You know what we should do is do the recycle thing too. There we are. I think they're at all-time highs. Yep, look at that. So Turkish lira this morning broke the all-time high and ran to 20.7670. Let me take a sip of tea. And, it went into the daily buy yesterday, and then they gave it to us today. Now, at the beginning of this week, we saw the weekly try to head down to the zero line, but they've really started to straighten out. Let's put the green line in there. Right there yesterday. No, that's not it. Cancel. Right there. There we go. Green. Green, green, green. Yes, indeed, indeed. So, it's nice to see the fundamentals try to, become more involved. And in this case here, unfortunately, the amount of do-re-mi is really, really starting to put a lot of pressure on the on the Turkish lira. And we haven't even looked at the dollar Turkish lira in a while. Let's do that just for the fun of it. Or sadness of it. More like the sadness of it. Whoa! Look at that crazy spike. See, that's why we don't follow it anymore. You got these wild spikes. The things become so illiquid now. Look at those wild spikes. I think the all-time high in that is, I want to say the 20s. So I'm a little disappointed that, it's not really reflecting it very well. In other words, it's so wild now that, 18, 19, 18, 19, 17, it's jumping all over the place. All right. So from there we go over to CAD. Right there. As you can see here, it's been in daily sell for a while. When we tighten it up, right there, you can see long trend heading down. Let's see. Wow. I see how far behind we are on the webinar. Has anybody said anything and I'm not missing it? Is the machine being a wacko? Let me do a refresh. Maybe that'll straighten it out. Because I can see, I monitor it on a computer all the time, so I can see the chat line. And, it's lagging. There's no doubt about that. Okay, here comes the refresh. Let's see if there's any more chat on the chat line too. No, I don't see anything more in there, but since Timothy. All right. From there, we slide over to, what was this? So we're looking at so you see the Canadian has been moving down. You would assume that oil is going up, 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 like so. So let's put the oil up on the screen. I think I'm going to put CAD here so you can see the overall trend. See, the overall trend has been down. And so with that overall trend down for weeks upon weeks, go over to here. And there's crude oil right there. And you can see that's the odd part, is that for the last 2 weeks, oil is trying to go down. Now the overall, and that's when you look at like right here, you can see that Canada has been coming down, and you can see that since like the beginning of the year, oil's been going up after they sold it down for the last couple of days, or first couple of days. There's the first day of January right there. They gap it down and then they take it up. So it does match up to a certain extent, just nowhere near what it used to. And then we've already looked at the South African rand and gold. So we know the factor, what's going on there. We can take a look at that again. Let's put gold up there. Right there. I mean, gold is, basically at like 6-month highs or something like that, 7-month highs. Let's take a look at it. Right there on J4X. Actually, it's even more than that. We haven't been up in this territory since April of 2000. What is that? 2022. I guess April? Yeah, I guess so. So not since last spring. Wow, look at that, Now, we've talked about this too, and that is that, right now, April gold in 2024 is trading at, let me go find it, is trading at, we'll give it to you exact. Right now, April gold in 2024 is trading at $2,065. Yeah. So it's trading almost $100 higher. And when you look at April of 2025, basically you're looking at $2,148. So, it's $200, almost $200 higher 2 years out. So they can fool around with the delivery side of it, but they can't fool around with the contango side of it. Yeah. All right. From there, we'll take a look at copper. Copper's been interesting. I think it went into a buy and now it's back into a sell, or it almost got into the buy and failed at it. Let's see. Where's it at? Right there. And as you can see right there, it's pressuring down. Went into the sell yesterday. Interesting. It lifted up this morning, but is trying to sell down again. And we always say oh, there's Timothy. Doc, what's the lowest time frame that you take entries on? Well, it depends on the product to some extent, but overall, probably where is it? Where is it at? I have it written down. Here, let's put it up on the screen. Let's put cable into that position too for you at the same time. So there's the cable right there, 786 in ticks. So you can see here, that was when the news came out. Put it into the sell there at, we can just slide this up and down a little bit if you want. And so you can see there, that was a close of, that particular bar was 123.13, almost 14, 13.9. And then it slides a little bit more down to 122.77. So, it's all part of that raising of the rates. Here was the last buy right there. Where's the last buy? Right there is the last buy. So it settled at 123.19.6 and jacked itself all the way up to 123. What's the high there? 123.91.9. And then the last, we should make this like a yellow or something like that, not insinuating long or short. Like that. Then here's another one. This is pretty cool. There's the sell right there. We should make this line going all the way through so you can see both. So let's do this too at the same time like that. There we are. So you can see here, it goes into the sell right there, and then you can see the price keeps on rolling down. It tries to get into the buy but fails at it. They both have to be together. And then like right there is your buy. So I would say that most of the time when it comes to a spatial chart, I would say that it's 786 in ticks. Probably I don't usually pay attention to minute charts because they're too choppy. So unless you're I like a 3-minute chart if I'm gonna let's look at the time for reference here. So that signal happened at in European time 3:29 and 55 seconds. So say 3:30. There's 3:30. Is that 3:30? No, 3:38. Okay, so 3:38. The next change of direction was at 6:24. That's hours. That is literally almost 3 hours difference. Then the next change from 6:24 is at 7:10. So that's 55 minutes. So that's why I do spatials. The first signal on the sell, was almost a 3-hour downdraft. So, and it doesn't. That doesn't always. In other words, what I call Newtonian time. Sir Isaac Newton time. Let me do this. Let's widen this so you can see it better, and then we'll push it down a little bit, like that. So then the last buy, like that buy right there, was at 3:12, and the sell came at 3:38. So there's 24 minutes, but it's only 3 bars. So I hate to get tangled up in all those bars, whipsaws. And so, especially trading the hard delta, there's one right there. Last night in the Asian hours at 23, basically 11:30, was it 11:30, 11:25 at night, and that lasted till right there, and then got got whipsawed at where was it? That lost. I don't even trade the night market right there anymore. Asia's night market is horrible anymore. When I was young, the Asian night market was great. I think the first hour is usually good, or half hour is good of trading, and then after that it gets really sloppy and thin. But there's and at the same time, so I steered clear of that altogether. But you can see how it looks there. It's going to do this big circly thing. You can see how dead it is. It starts to die. Look at the action compared to when we scrunch that up. You can see how tight that is compared to all the other action. So I hope that helps you. You like to use a 1-minute chart, right? So we had that up. Remember, we were playing around with it. I'm not a big fan of Newtonian time. So, when it comes to trading, I really like spatial bars, because what a spatial bar does is it reflects, and maybe this will be the title today, so that if anybody wants to bring the subject up for tomorrow, basically spatial bars versus fixed time reflects volatility. So when you're using a spatial bar, in many ways, what you're doing is you're looking at, how like Giannis has been saying, Dukascopy started using, they put the VIX up there now. They have the VIX. And, we've had conversations on the webinar about the VIX, the volatility index. And it really is, it's a lagging indicator, not a leading indicator. It confirms that things are going in a direction, not leading you into that direction. Oh, good. By me readjusting this. Good. Now my webinar is almost only like 6 seconds or 10 seconds behind. That's not bad. So I resynced it. That's a good thing to do. So I think that's the answer to it all. And matter of fact, I think that's going to be the title of this. Create a channel to join the chat. How interesting. And I think that's really, what happens is spatial bars versus fixed time. Spatial bars reflect volatility compared to fixed time. And that's really, I think, is important, because, volatility, markets can get, like, look at this. We're looking at, what is this product? This is the gold. Okay, we're looking at gold. Is that gold? Oh, no, this is not gold. This is cable. This is intraday cable. So you can see here, look at that move when they raised it a 1/4 percentage point yesterday. Was that it right there? I don't think so. I thought they did that before the. No, that doesn't make sense. Did they raise it yesterday or two? I think they raised it. Oh, that was the U.S. when they only raised it a 1/4 percentage point. That's what it was. But I think 2 days ago they raised rates in London a 1/4 percentage point. So, that's from Mr. Powell talking and raising rates in the States. So you can see, where does it get into the buy? Was it right there? We can widen that out. And then, that's that action there. I try not to trade on numbers too. After the number, not on the number. In other words, not a minute before the number. And that's what's really cool about binaries. And, Dukascopy has binaries, intraday binaries. It does the execution for you. You put it on for a minute, and, you have a limit to how much you can lose. You can put a call one on and a put one on, and, and it does the execution for you. And since, we've become comfortable with the idea that fundamentals are not necessarily long, they don't have staying power most of the time. So now in this case here, the Fed's actions, the staying power did last a while, but notice it was more of a plateau. You can see that. Let me just make this really big. You see that it was like a plateau from 2 yesterday afternoon all the way into the European Open, basically right there. It was a real plateau, doing nothing, waiting for the Bank of Japan, I guess. I'm sorry, Bank of England to do things. And then you can see here where it gets into the sell right there. And it stays that way for hours. But it can change. That a 786 can change in a matter of minutes, or it can stay with a trend for hours. And that's why I enjoy the spatial bars versus the fixed bars, fixed time of minutes and seconds. I hope that answered your question, Timothy. All right. From there, where do we go from there? Let's drift over to... What are we drifting over to? We just got done looking at... I think we were looking at... What were we looking at? Were we looking at copper? I think we were looking at copper. So now I guess we'll drift over to the energy sector. See what the energies are doing. I guess we could take a look at platinum, see what platinum's up to. That's what we did. We left with copper. And copper, curious, we've seen copper. I always look at copper as the representation of what's going on in the China economy. And, we can, let me, there's many a time I verbalize it, but I don't really show it. Let's put the Chinese index, the stock market index, up on the screen. And see let's look at the type of correlation there is with that. I think we've tried to do this a couple times before, and I think it's well worth doing, because I don't like to beat up on China. I mean, it's not my desire to beat up. You can see we've been on a daily buy here since, what was that, the beginning of the year of January. I mean, the Apple has been in a daily buy since there. It's been in a weekly buy since down in there in the 130s, and now we're up challenging the 147 area as we speak. Let's see. Let's try. Let me see what that's doing. There we are. Pet shop boy. Yeah. Where's the greens? There's a buy there. Oh, that's supposed to be green. That's what that is. And that's green. And then that is green. Let's save that. And let's add, save that. Save workspace. And save it too, like that. Pet Shop Boy. I always think of the West End song by Pet Shop. The song. There we are. Now let's put the Chinese market in there, unless someone wants to see something else. But I'm kind of curious now to see the relationship between copper and the stock market in China. So let's do this. Let's go grab we can make a copy of somebody. We can go use Microsoft. Let's use Microsoft. And here it comes. And the symbol here in the States is FXI. There we are. And then let's do this one. FXI. Now I'm a little confused why it's only reflecting a very short period of time there. That's odd. What's up with that? Maybe I have to reinstall the stock itself. Let's see what we have over on J4X. Let's see. Let's go to J4X and look at that. FXI. Let's see if we can. Maybe it's USD. USD. Nope, wrong keyboard. Escape. It's this keyboard right here. USD. Let's try it one more time. USD, FXI. Let's see stocks. Or vice versa. F. Like in Frank. FXI. Not found. How about USD / FXI? Not found. Okay. All right. Is there a Chinese index? Hey, Giannis, you around? Is there a Chinese index? Or did you have to go to India or something like that? I'm a little confused why I'm only seeing 5 days here on the FXI also. Maybe I need to add that again. Let's see what we can do about adding that again. So if I go like that, and then format instrument, and then add. Let's see. Let's see. Add a symbol. Stock. FXI. So there, maybe it needs to be NASDAQ or something like that. Let's see. FXI. There's ARCA. Got to find the right exchange. There's NYSE. Let's add that. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. FX. Wish there was a NASDAQ one. That might be better. Let's see. Bats. Try a Bats one too. And there's ARCA also. Did I put ARCA in there? Let's put ARCA in there too. Alright, now let's see if we can fix this thing. Close. Okay. Let's see. There's Smart. I think I have Smart in there now. So let's try ARCA. Or Bats. Let's try Bats. That's the Boston. Yeah, there you go. That's the Boston Exchange. Okay, so look at that. It's been in that weekly buy. Let's see. Let's scrunch that up. And you can see that the high of 2022 is around $40. It fell down to almost $20, lost 50% of its value in this past year. And now it's bottoming and it's at $32. And the all-time high, let's see, I think the all-time high is something like 50-something. No, I'm sorry, 70-something, 60 or 70-something. I'll find it in a second. Here, I can put that up on the screen too. Let me go find that. Make that bigger. And let's widen that out a little bit more. Or let's start from the low. And then we can take a look at copper. And, well, let's just do that first. Let's take a look at copper. Matter of fact, let's shrink this back down and put copper up on J4X. Right there. And there's J4X and copper. You can see here, this low, what is that? That's the July low. And then let's look at this here. That is the October low, right? What is that? That's November low. Right there, October low. And let's see. The July low. Oh, I see. So Look at this. The top developed in July, and there's your top in April, and then it put a low in July. And so there is July there. It topped out in July. So that's interesting. The stock market got clocked with the rest of the world stock markets. And then let me show you. The all-time high is like 70 something. So even, when it went down to 20 something, the market's down like a 0.63 overall. Trading there. There we go. And then let's see, we go like this. I'm going to move this onto the screen for a few seconds there, like that. And then let's put the symbol up there, like so, FXI. And it's the iShares in China large caps. And then we go like this. We fix the chart. Like that. There we are. And then let's put in a monthly or a yearly. Let's put a yearly in and make it a bar chart instead of a line chart. Make it a candlestick. That's kind of fun. So there's the all-time high back in 2005? 2005. Right there in the 70s area. See that there? There's 75. There's 70. It's stalled out right there. And that's the high is 73.19 to be exact. And then the product has basically been falling ever since. That's the yearly. And then when we go look at monthly, there it is right there, like that. That's back to 2005. So you can see that they keep on going down and challenge these enormous lows. And the best they can do is get basically 0.63 to the top. If you get up into the 50s and the all-time high is in the 70s, that's basically almost a 2/3. No reaction up to now on ECB. You thought they might raise rates? By the way, Powell, the theory was correct. Should have put money on it. I hear you. Yeah, the market, a lot of the dailies, everything was aiming in that direction. So, let's put it this way: I was not short. Was not short. So yeah, and so that's the action we're seeing in the, that now. When we go, what we got there? Let's go like that again, and then let's just get rid of that altogether. I'm a little surprised, in the sense that copper bottomed out here in November also. Let's just put copper up on the screen. There it is right there. And copper bottomed in the same time period. So sometimes they really do march along. In this case here, you can see there's your July low. And then you can see a second bottom in here in October. And then when we go back to copper, or we go to the FX, go to the stock again right there. There's your October low. Same thing. And copper bounced there. But the thing is that it didn't have the bottom here. That's interesting, is that copper, what is this? This is the FXI. The stocks just kept on sliding before that. I hear you. That's what binaries are for. How many times have I told you should have done a third webinar about using binary options for fundamentals? Remember the two fundamental videos you made? You should have commingled the binaries with that. Where you put a binary call on a binary put on and try to play the range. The over-under, as they would say in football. You could put money on that with the binaries. They make them expire like in 1 minute trades. So, I hear you. All right, where are we at now? Let's go over to where are we at now? Let's see. So let's look at the energies, and let's close that. Yes, and let's take a look at, there it is right there. And there we go. There's crude oil. And so crude oil has been doing the drift, as we showed you with the Canadian. And then, and the back month, this is the front month at 76.02. So let's take a look at the May contract. Right there. There's the May contract trading at 76.59. So it's picked up about 50-60 cents. Those back months are carrying better price. Again, we're having those delivery problems really in the end. You know, you see it in gold. I mean, a year, can you imagine a year, when we look at gold and you see it trading at $100 higher a year out, and then you only see silver trading like $1 higher. I mean, that's a really wild ratio there. Tea time. There we are. Yeah, it's like 2 o'clock in England, isn't it? Yeah, it is. There we are. Tea time. So now from there, we take a look at. We looked at natural gas earlier. I mean, it was trading at 250 and change. Now it's at 250.33. $2.50, man. Janos, have you? Can you? I did the Spanish company. It's trading in the 26s again. It's like, what is that all about? You know, isn't things getting warmer over there yet? I mean, we're in February. Did your little groundhog see its shadow or not, or what? I guess you could use like a parliamentarian from the European Union as be your groundhog. If they see their shadow, and relate to it the same way we do when we look at Punxsutawney Pete. Tea time. All right, from there we drift over to what's left on the energy side. I guess we saw the energy company trading at 26.10. I was like, oh man, what's up with that? I thought the thing should have been at 25.70, especially with the U.S. trading at $2.50. It's the way it goes, I guess. All right, that pretty much finishes that up. We can take a look at some of the bonds too. Like there's the 30-year bond. You can see it's still lifting up. You can see it stayed in the weekly with no problem. It's been in the weekly since there. And overall, too, it's been in a weekly buy since the middle of November. You know, with that October low thing going on. You can see that. You can see the fast-moving stochastic, which is the little blue dash line, has really led that very well. And they both joined in on the sell there at that low, and then right back in the saddle again. Me and Cowboys. How about that? So, and cowgirls. I like cowgirls even more. Barrel racers. They're kind of fun. Oh, yeah. All right. Now, let's see. We go from there to the 10-year. Let's see what the 10-year looks like. And there's the 10-year. Excuse me. Again, that also doing the same thing. You know, going on months upon months upon months. Right there. You know, getting into the buy back in November. And there's that low in October right there. And then we look at the 5-year. 5 years really interesting. This 5-year note. Excuse me. And that's in the weekly buy. It never slid out. The short term, that went into the weekly buy in early November at the lows in here at 106 and change, and now it's trading at 110. You know, it's doing a pretty good job there. And it's been, you know, every buy has been has every buy been a winner chicken dinner? That one was. This one was. That one was not. There you go. Wait a minute, that's it right there, isn't it? Yep. There was the first loss. So 1 out of 3, and then there's another winner chicken dinner. That's 3 out of 4. And then there's 5 right there. That's what I say. 4 out of 5 now. There's 4 out of 5. And now it looks like, what did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 5 out of 6 have been winner chicken dinners, and the one loss has been very small. So there's the Doc's 8.5 out of 10. Right in your face. Right in your face. I'm going all hood on you. So there it is. You know, just live. You can't make this stuff up. That's the wonderful thing about it, is we show it live every day, and you can go back and look at the videos and go, oh yeah, that's what it is. I remember that's what drove me to Dukascopy that one time. You know, we had a guy on there trying to adjust his charts to make it look like every trade was a winner, but every time frame was different. And when he went back the next day and looked at it, it wasn't the same as today. I was like, wait a minute, you're adjusting. I said, can't you put it up there on live like I'm live all the time? It's like, oh no, we can't do that because then it would show our system. So we can't show our system. So you have to subscribe first. He was like saying, you got to subscribe to him first, pay him money to see live. It's like, no, thank you. We'll show you live for free. Was that like, what's it, Dojo Cat? FNRNE. That's right, free. Indeed. All right, where else are we at, traders? Do we have any news coming out? Who is that? Should have put... Who, Dojo Cat? Oh, I can't play the song. Remember, we get in trouble whenever I play the song. She's got a really... It's freaky girl, I think. It's a freaky something. Dojo Cat. Freaky... I'll give you the name of it. I can't play it. But I find it to be one of the more funnier songs I've ever heard in my life, honest to God. Funny and fascinating. Very sensual and entertaining at the same time. It's almost like it's innocent. That's the uniqueness of it all. Dojo Cat. Let's see. I'll find it in a second. Where's my sounds at? Oh, I gotta make that larger. That's why. There it is. Okay, here we go. Dojo Cat. No, I'm not going to sing any of it. Trust me. No, I would not even attempt. I'll stay with Roy Rogers. Oh, is it really? Oh, wow. Well, at least they don't bother me about singing Roy Rogers songs from the 1950s, right? So that's pretty good. You know, I mean, that's Roy Rogers and Dale Evan, his wife. So me just saying those words, those letters. I said them letters. I didn't, and then I said the word at the end. I said it differently than the song. That's all. It was different. It's different than the song because she says it differently, but she does spell it that way. But she says the E's differently and then says it at the end differently. So I'm going to stay with Roy Rogers and Dale Evan. That's what I'm going to stay with. All right. I got my title, too, all figured out today. It's a good one. It relates to, some of the others that we've been talking about, and that is spatial bars versus time bars. But the reason is going to be in the title, which is pretty cool, you know. So today's title is going to be Spatial Bars Represent Volatility. Or spatial bars represent volatility. Incorporate volatility. And fixed don't. That's my title. I will. All right, traders. This is Doc from North America saying happy trails to you until we meet again. That's tomorrow on TGIF. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. All right, traders, catch you on the flip side of tomorrow.